There are good reasons why the King's Indian defense is such a popular opening. Hikaru Nakamura is one of those super GMs who have produced truly impressive King's Indian games. This one is highly instructive and full of brilliant tactics. Let's see this battle between two world-class players. Wesley saw was white, he played d4 and Nakamura responded with knight f6. c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, e4, d6, knight f3, castling, bishop e2. So we are heading to the main line, e5, castling, knight c6, d5, knight e7, and now knight e1 is the main move here. Knight d7. This is better than knight e8 because it will stop the c5 ideas. And now bishop e3 is the most common move. Wesley Saw played f3, but this will transpose to the same position after bishop e3, f4, bishop f2, and now g5. This is very interesting and important position in the King's Indian. Black tries to play on Kingside and White tries to play on Queenside. Here knight d3 was played and the idea is to play c5 and open up the c file. Knight g6 was played by Nakamura and the idea is to bring knights on g6 and f6 and then h5, g4, and if needed black will play rook f7 and bishop f8. It will give good protection to d6 and c7 square, and later on rook can go to g7, which is very good square for the rook if g file opens up. Here h5, c5 was played and knight f6, rook c1, and now rook f7 is needed. Here the main move is king h1, it's kind of prophylactic choice. If white goes to c takes d6 immediately, this can be maybe too early, because after knight b5 black can just play a6 here, and if knight goes back, this maneuver is quite useful if there is chance to bring knight on b6, but I can give one example and we can see that there is no time to do this in this kind of position. Here, according to the computer, bishop d7 is already a little bit better for black, and if knight jumps to a4, black can play g4 immediately, and it's very important to play this attack as quickly as possible. If there is no need to play h5, it's good idea to not to use moves on unnecessary moves. And now there is no knight on c3, so e4 is not protected, and if pawn takes here, black can take e4, and this is very important factor in this position. And even here, if knight lands on b6, this bishop is not guarding the knight if black plays this standard idea with g3. And after this captures, now white has to play bishop e3 to keep this knight guarded, and now black can take d5 and the queen will join the attack very quickly. This is not the game continuation, but very standard ideas which are good to know. And now if rook goes to e1, there is no good ways to defend, because black can just play like this, and then checkmate will follow like this. Okay, back to the game, and in the game white played king h1, and one idea is to give square for bishop if needed, and now similar ideas might work better if there is chances to create this kind of maneuver. Okay, but in the game h5 was played by Nakamura, and now white took on d6 and played knight b5. And here, according to the computer, there is two ideas. Black can play g4 or a6. And according to the computer, this position is equal after these moves. Very interesting position. Okay, a6 was played by Nakamura, and here it seems that white should play knight c3 and try to get knight on a4 now, but after b5 there is no chance to bring knight on b6. But the downside with this b5 move is that now c6 square is available for another knight, but this will go very interesting position, and according to the computer this is equal, and these kind of positions are very interesting. Who will win? Who knows? Okay, back to the game, and knight goes to a3, and now idea is to bring the knight on c4 or b6. But here b5 was very good move, and now the knight is a little bit badly placed, we can say so, because now the only way to get knight to the game is to play it to c2 and then b4. Here probably knight c2 was needed according to the computer. After rook c6 black is already clearly better, and the rook c6 was played in the game. Okay, black could play bishop f8 and then rook g7, but g4 is a very principal idea to play for attack when you are ready, and this was played in the game, and then queen c2. Now queen f8 was black's move. The other idea could be bishop f8 and then rook g7, but maybe the idea was to bring bishop on h6 and try this standard sacrificing idea and try to get bishop to the e3 later on. Rook c1 and now bishop d7, and black's position holds long enough to create tactics on Kingside. Rook c7 and now bishop h6. Actually here g3 was already an option, and if white takes it, then the position will open up, and this is very standard idea in this kind of positions like this, and then h4 and try to create threats with h3 or knight f4 or bishop e3 or rook g7. There's many ways to create an attack, but in the game bishop h6 was played, and now bishop e1. Now after g3 white can play h3, but still it seems that black is fine here. According to the computer, black could play something like rook knight h4 and then later on sacrifice on h3 in right moment, but it's not so easy to see when and how to do it. So it's very understandable that Nakamura played h4, because this looks even more threatening. It will open up whole kingside, and here white took on g4. According to the computer, white should play h3. It's better move, but it's very understandable that why Wesley So didn't do this, because this is just much better for black, and there is no any good ways to create some counter chances. And maybe in this line there might be some chances that black's position is not so good than it looks like. Okay, but here is a good moment to pause the video and try to find out what Nakamura played. It might take a bit of time if you want to see the whole picture. Alright, here f3 was brilliant move, but the idea is not to take this rook after pawn takes f3. Here Nakamura played knight takes e4, and now every piece will join the attack. After f takes e4, white didn't play this way. Black could just play rook f1, and this rook cannot be taken because there's checkmate immediately. And if king goes to g2, we can play bishop e3, and the game will go in similar positions that what happened in the game. For example, if now bishop takes here, black can push h3, and now queen will land on f1 if king goes to h1. If king takes here, this is even possible, and then something like, yeah, okay, there's many ways to drop this queen or get winning advantage. So this is very powerful attack, and that's why rook d1 was played. But here black just took on f3, another brilliant choice. Here Wesley So took the bishop on d7, but there is no better options. Black is winning now. If bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, queen g2, there's at least few moves which will lead winning position for black. For example, just trade the queens, and then these pieces are playing much better together than white pieces. For example, if rook goes to c1, a1 to avoid material losses, this will lead to disaster in many ways. For example, rook f8 and bishop pair will create too many tactical threats, and white is dead lost. Okay, back to the game. Here rook d7 was played, and now rook f1. This rook is untouchable because checkmate will follow immediately. So king g2, and now bishop e3 was played by Nakamura, and again this rook cannot be taken. h3, and if king goes here, checkmate will follow, so have to take, and then queen f3, and after bishop g3, knight g5 is a checkmate, but this didn't happen In the game, Wesley So played bishop g3, and now the rook tries to save the day, but Nakamura just took on g3, rook took on f1, and now brilliant move, which is the only move, by the way, knight h4, and king has to go forwards. If it goes to here, then checkmate will follow like this. So king h3 was played, and now queen joins the attack, and there is many discovery attacks. For example, knight f5 is a very dangerous one. If pawn takes here, actually this is even better. It leads checkmate in few moves. Brilliant tactics. Okay, but in the game g5 was played, and the idea is to hit the queen, and now there is no chance to move this knight with check. But black just took on g5, and again white will lose in few moves. King g4 was played in the game. If king takes the pawn, then knight f5 is the winning move. If rook takes it, then it checkmate like this. And if king goes to g2 or g4, if it goes g4, then there is checkmate in with queen h3, and this will be checkmate as well. Okay, but king g4 was played in the game, and here Nakamura played knight f3. Actually, here is many ways to win, but this was a pretty one. And now queen h3 is a threat. Knight f2 was played. Queen h4, king f5, rook joins the attack, king goes to g6, and here brilliant rook sacrifice was played by Nakamura. King took on f6, and now double check here, and the last move in the game was king g6. If king goes to e6, this could be even prettier finish, and if king goes to f5, then same idea will lead similar position what happened in the game. After king g6, the last move was queen g5, checkmate. Do you think this was highly impressive? Please leave your comment. And thanks for watching.